The next capability is computer vision, and this has the maximum use cases in the AI capabilities. Okay, so I've listed all those things. So from object detection, okay, so if you present an image, it can detect the objects that are present in the image, to facial detection. Okay, you can provide face and you can detect who is it, or you can even analyze the sentiment from the face actually, to know whether a person is happy or sad. Even that can be analyzed by using these services. Okay, and we have got also optical character recognition. We call it in short as OCR. So if there is any handwritten documents, so that can be scanned by this AI systems and it can be outputted as a text. So even those things are possible with the current AI systems. The next one is the natural language processing. I think I'll start with an example. You might have very much be aware of Google Translate or Alexa. So let's go with Alexa. So if you provide an input to Alexa, so we just talk to Alexa like we talk to a fellow human being, right? Okay. See some questions that we ask: what is today's new, Alexa? Alexa, play me some new songs. Okay. See, Alexa is able to understand and it's able to provide you the proper results based upon that. Okay. So similarly, in Microsoft Azure, we have got a platform called LUIS, which is the which is means language understanding intelligence services. Okay. So we will try to see some of the examples later in this demo as well. Okay. So so it's able to understand the human language, translate it, and then provide an output. Okay. So Google Translate, like you can translate from one language to another, and you could have seen like speech to text or text to speech functions. So all this comes under the natural language processing area. Okay. Okay. Now, finally, let's move on to the final category, which is a conversational AI. So you might have seen in many companies like Amazon, Make My Trip, there are chat-based assistants. Okay? And these systems are very intelligent enough to understand our questions and respond back as well. Okay. See, this can be easily achieved using a Q&A maker and Azure bot services that is available as part of Microsoft Azure AI capability. Okay. Let's suppose you have a FAQ document already available, or a Q&A. Q&A stands for question and answer. Okay. Okay, it is already available. You can just import this into the Q&A maker system, and based upon that, you can build a bot, and immediately we can create an intelligent chatbot, and this can be done within a matter of minutes or hours. Okay, so that has been possible with the use of all these latest technologies that is provided by Microsoft Azure. Okay, now enough theory. Now I think let's go and have a quick demo, and let's try to train a model for object classification. Okay, so let me. Okay, so if I go to Azure, so I'm not going to go through the steps of registering to Azure because it's pretty straightforward process. And Azure, Microsoft Azure provides you a capability to create free accounts, and they also give you credit for 14,500 Indian rupees for a month, and it can be used to explore all their capabilities. So you can just go ahead and sign up. The credit card and debit card detail is required, but you will not be charged for it. Okay, so you can go and access those things. Okay, so I can show you the services which belongs to all AI, what we have. So there is a category called AI plus machine learning. If you go here, you can see the ones that what we just went through as a session now. Okay, your Q&A maker, your face APIs, your language understanding machines and everything. Now let's try to build a system wherein we train a system. Okay, so for that, we are custom training a system. So you need to go to this website called customvision.ai. Okay, and you need to register, sign up and register your Microsoft Azure account. Okay, now let's try creating a new project. Okay, let me say this as fruits classification. Okay, and I'll give the same description. You can even provide a even more better description. Okay, and this. And you can see there are resources. These resources are nothing but I have already, just for the benefit of time, I have already created these resources in my account in Azure. Okay, you can see I have already created a custom vision account. So the steps are pretty straightforward. Even I can show you. Okay, so you have to, you can go to all services, you can go to here, and you can see that there is a custom vision service. You can go there, and already I have created a account. So this is what is being showcased over there. You can also create a new custom mission account if required. But I'm not going to do this because it would take some time. So we would be using the same one that we have, the custom vision -ks. See, the project that we are going to run in is a object classification, and the classification type multi-label, multi-class. So multi-label is nothing but if you have an image and in this image you have got apple, orange, banana, then there are multiple tags. A tag is nothing but an object. Just correlate with that. Okay, but all the images that we will be using today are going to have only one object in that image. So you could see that I have got 5 images of apple. Okay, and I have got 5 images of watermelon. Okay, 5 different images, and we have got 2 quick test images. So this image of watermelon, right, is not anywhere in this. Okay, so we will train the model and then we will provide a certain input, and let's see if the model is able to predict whether it is a watermelon or apple correctly. So you have got many domains. Okay, so for now I will just choose food because this can narrow down your training process. Okay, I'll create the project. And the reason why I have 5 images is you need a minimum of 5 images to train a model. If you have less than 5 images, you will get an error in the system that to add 5 images. And the size of one image should be a maximum of 6 MB. So you can see that as well. Okay. Okay. First, let me select all the Apple images. Okay. So now I need to write a tag. Okay. So now this is Apple. So I will mention what this object means. So this is nothing but is called tag in the AI terms. Okay. Now let me upload this file. Okay. Now it's done. Now let's upload the file for watermelon as well. Huh? So I will upload these files and I will call it as watermelon. Okay, now I have uploaded the files. Now it's time to train our model. So you should click on this train model. Okay, so that's a quick training and advanced training. I will use a quick training. Okay, so now the training has started. So this will take some time. Okay, meanwhile, we will see the other part of the presentation and finally come back to this, and we will also do a quick test on this model. Okay, so let me go back to the presentation. Okay. Okay. The next topic would be the Microsoft Responsible AI principle. Okay. So what does responsible AI means? So when we develop AI system, we should make sure that we design systems that follows 6 principles provided by Microsoft Azure. Okay. So these are not specific to Microsoft. This can even be appealed globally as well. Okay. So the first principle is fairness. So if you build an AI system, it should be giving equal opportunity irrespective of all these factors: gender, race, religion, caste, and nationality. Okay. I can quote an example. One of the top tech companies in the world, they built an AI system to automate their recruitment process. The AI system became biased and started rejecting female candidates and was only selecting male candidates. Okay, because the first principle of fairness was violated, and the tech company had to dismantle that system completely. Okay, and that's why you need to provide data sets from all categories covering a equal set of female and male, and from all religions. So your data set that you train should be more vast and it should have more diversity. Okay, so that the AI system is fair to all. Next thing is the reliability and safety. Okay, so when we design one example could be your Tesla. Okay, so we have seen this. Teslas are driving without the driverless technology, autonomous vehicle. But before we release, we should have been testing that rigorously, because any mistake or deviation could directly impact a human life, right? So the cars that we design for an driverless vehicle should not be only trained for a road which is in good condition. They should also test this in bad weather, let's say when it is raining, when it is snowing, okay, when there is potholes in the road, okay. So all these deviation categories needs to be tested thoroughly so that the AI system becomes very reliable and safe. The other example is for medical analysis, okay. So if the AI system is predicting or diagnosing the patient for a wrong ailment, it can directly cost the life of that person. Okay, so it is the AI systems designer's responsibility to make sure we create reliable and safe systems. The third principle is about the privacy and security. See, the current issue maybe all around is with the privacy. Actually, that is the biggest threat we have facing. Okay, so to learn from system, because the AI systems need a large amount of data from which it can learn from your previous experience, and this can include your personal information as well. The AI system should be good enough to secure this, and we need to have complete privacy of the information that is available in these systems. So that is the third principle of AI, responsible AI. The fourth one is inclusiveness. Okay, so maybe I can explain this with an example. So let's say we are designing a voice command. Okay, so if you ask something, it responds it back by speech. Okay, so if I ask a question, it again answers back in speech. But let's say there is a person who can speak, but he is deaf. Okay, for that person, he can only provide the input, but he cannot hear the output. So for them, what we need to do is we need to create a system wherein the output is also be provided as a text. Okay, so we include everyone irrespective of their physical ability, okay, gender or ethnicity. We should not be designing systems only for a particular group. It should have a global appeal, and we should make sure that we empower everyone with this. So that is what the inclusiveness concept means. Transparency. So this is one of the more core principles. And what does it mean? Let's say we build an AI system which can approve or reject loans in a bank. Okay, so if a person is rejected for a loan application, the AI system should be able to explain why the rejection happened. Okay, so we need to understand why the AI system did that particular decision. Okay, and we should also mention what is the limitations of our AI systems. So there should be a transparency between the person who design and deployed and also the person who are using, the end users as well. So there should be complete transparency. The final thing is the accountability. The AI system should be governed as per the legal and the ethical requirements. Meaning, if there is a set of legal rules, we should make sure the AI systems follow through these rules, and also it also gives you from the ethical point of view. So we can't provide create an AI system which can diagnose a person who is going to enter into a boxing match and find his weakness and just hit it on the weak spot, because ethically that not be correct. Okay, and also from legal point of view, you should not violate a government's or a private organization legal rules and build AI systems against it. And to maintain this, the persons who design and develop this AI system should be held accountable. So that is what the accountability principle means. Okay. So these are the 6 AI principles that Microsoft Azure explains. And this is not only with Microsoft Azure. anywhere, if you are going to create an AI system, if you follow these principles, then you are building a very good AI system. Okay. So now let's go back to the training. Okay. It is still getting trained, but meanwhile, I can also show you some demos on the LUIS capabilities. So we saw that LUIS stands for Language Understanding Intelligent Systems. So this is a demo that is available in Microsoft site, and you can also check it out. So there is a house, and you can see there are different lighting systems over here. Okay. So if I say like turn off all lights, okay. So this is just like a person. I'm speaking to a person, and if I provide this command, it can act upon it. Okay. And this is the kitchen area. Let's say I want to cook. Okay. So I just say I want to cook. Okay. So it can understand, and okay, we can put I and in kitchen, let's say. Okay. Okay, let's give some other example. I turn on kitchen light, let's say. So it can see that it can turn only the kitchen light. Okay, so you can actually train the system. So this is just an example. Okay, see, you can create such systems using Microsoft AI. So there are capabilities. You can build this system with very easily, is what I'm saying. Okay, so you can also have some other. I will show you some other AI capabilities as well, which is nothing but the computer vision. Okay, so if I click this, let's say this particular image, okay, see, it can analyze this image actually. See, it's saying that for it has a confidence percentage as well. Okay, see, it says that there is a building, and it's 100% confidence that there is a building and there is a car. Okay, and it's confident that there is a road. Okay, but it's not confident whether it's a taxi, because this can be a owned car as well. Okay, so it can analyze an image by providing just an image. Okay, and you can also read the text. Let's say if I go here, okay, okay, I'll select some other image. Let's say okay, something is wrong. If you can go to the next step, you can also read from the, okay, okay, I think the site is down, but you can just have a check. Okay, so if you go and if you can click the systems, it can provide you the outputs. Okay, so that's how the computer vision works. Okay, and you can also use your sentiment analysis as well. I can say, let's say you might have seen in Amazon or Flipkart, there are a lot of product reviews that is available. So no one is going through the product and just analyzing. If I say the product is very good, let's say, and it can analyze it actually. Okay, and it can say that there's a positive sentiment over this. Okay, so these are some of the capabilities, and you can design these systems using yourselves in Microsoft Azure, and you can deploy APIs, and you can call those APIs, and you can provide these inputs, and you can get these results back. So it has been that simple using Azure's AI system. Okay, now let's go back and let's check whether the training is completed. Okay. Still, it's being trained. But meanwhile, if you want to ask me any questions, I would be happy to answer. Okay, good. I think we had a perfect timing. The training is completed as well. Okay, so I don't want to go through all this probability threshold or the precision, because in benefit of time, we will just do a quick test. Okay, so you can go to this quick test. Okay, and I can. So these are the images I had it for watermelon. Correct. So now let me choose a test image that I have for watermelon. Okay, so if I give this image, okay, now the trained model is now predicting it actually. So it is 99.8% confident that this is a watermelon. Okay, okay, only 0.1% it says that it might be an apple. Okay, so I can even do a test with this apple. So if I give this apple, right, so it says that 99.6 probability, it's very confident that it's an apple. Only 0.3, it says that it might be a watermelon. See, in a matter of minutes, we actually created our own custom model just with the button clicks. Okay, so I hope you understand the capabilities of AIs is endless, and this would mark the end of this demo and also the summary. Let's go through the summary. So I believe that you learned what is artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, and what is data science. You also came across the Azure AI capabilities. What are the principles to design a responsible AI system? And we also saw a demo on the Azure AI capabilities as well using custom vision. Okay. So that's it from my end. So I'm happy to take any questions if we have.